Hello to everyone, this is Vishal and hope all are doing well. And so let's start the topic of the day that as we are working on the coroutine examples, and in my previous sessions we have done many examples related to the room with coroutine, retrofit with coroutine, and we have done the basic examples of the coroutine. So that's on the sequence. We are doing the one more lecture, but on the other hand, as we have done many lectures on the MPAndroid chart, and in which we have done the line chart, bar chart, and other charts also. So on this, on that sequence, there we use some static data, but many users want that if the data comes from the web APIs or the room databases, so how we can do that, how we can achieve that. So we work on today that is related to the MPAndroid. That means we can integrate both the sides, one for the chart and the other for the database, that is room. But these two we are working with the coroutine examples. So that is a very good examples, and we can get that very fast data on that from the backend resources. Either you can use room or the retrofit. So today we discuss about the line chart with the room, and then in my future lectures we'll discuss about the retrofit with this dynamic data here. But these all under the sequence of the coroutine example. So that is the best approach nowadays with the Kotlin, so you can use that to get faster data. And as discussed in my previous lectures, there be there's the old version in my MPAndroid chart sessions. So nowadays there's a new version Bearise, that is 3.0.3, and there are some changes in the classes on that. We also discussed the changes in the new MPAndroid chart. So these we learned today, and thank you so much for your lovely comments that you put it, and whenever I get a time I must read them, and according to that I will create a new sessions for you. So thank you for your love and your lovely comments on that. You carry on that, and whatever be your requirement you put on that. So thanks a lot, and let's start it in Android Studio. Okay, so let's start in Android Studio, and here we are using the simply Kotlin capped, and here we have a room compilers. These very simple structure. That means we need a simple implementation as we have done in our previous sessions. Those are new, so must watch my previous sessions to the simple room and your Android chart. So difference between that means what we will do today for the new version and what we have done in our old version. So first you need to check that session, that means those sessions in which you have to work, and then we'll update here. Okay, so I will describe you one more time how we can implement this thing, but that is the most important, how we can use this implementation. Okay, so that I already described in my sessions, so you must watch that. And now we have to create a folder here, and the first package is your database, and which we work with the backend scenario, and here the other is your the other package is your front end scenario. So I'm making it for the chart. Okay, so here we integrate both the that means both the modules here, that is a chart and the database, using the ViewModel. So that means MVC approaches we apply here, because of I always work on that, and I always said that whenever you work within Android, so must use that MVC approaches on. That means ViewModel factories and the other things you need to apply. So must watch my previous sessions, I already described all the things there. So on that database, first we have to create our first class, that is called a basic table class. So as we are working for the company, so that means in according to your project, whatever you want for that company you can create for the multiple companies, or as well as for your we can say that for a company. So that means for a multiple products, who sells multiple products. Okay, So first I'm taking about that is a one scenario, that is a one kind of company be here. So in future we'll describe you how can multiple companies be can, and we will discuss about the share market on with the chart also with the dynamic data. So first we discuss about this, and here you can just simply say that uh, entity. Okay, so whenever you work with the room, you can work with your entity. So this entity, what we needed a table name, so that's the table name scenario. As it is a company, so I'm making that with a company. Okay, so that's the name. And here what we needed some parameters to make a database. So that means columns, and then on the front end side what we need a parameter, and for the back end side, that means in the room, in the database, we insert some values on that. Okay, so here I'm making it the primary key, that is the most important key, and on that primary key what you needed auto generate, that is true. Okay, so here it wants some values, so I'm making that values be here where, and I'm taking as an ID, and that ID be as an I'm using int kind of. Okay, and that we initialize as 0 because of it is an auto generate. So that means if you pass the 0, that means the next number it automatically take a 1 during insert time. Otherwise it can update the previous values. Okay, if you not make it like that. So that means you not update it with the new records be there. It only the single row, it can multiple times it can update on that case. Okay, and then now we have to work with our column info. So I think now the column info little bit change now, so maybe it gives some errors on that case. So but we'll see. If I'm making that company name be here, and where I'm making it that name, the company name as a nice string, so I'm making that company name. Okay, and that is our string kind of its values. Okay, so we'll see what it said to me. It said to me that it is only named arguments are, that means according to Java annotations maybe some changes there. So I'm making more actions, and I do not want to that. Okay, I replace that. So here the next is you just copy paste that, and what we want two fields that is related to the x-axis values and the y-axis values. So for this I want the company growth. Okay, so that is a column informations. Better you can create it as an underscores, so you can check your field here. So this is your company growth. Okay, so I'm making this as a growth. So that means this is your y-axis, so that means it always be the percent type, so that means it works on. Okay, so here I'm making the either float, you can do that, or int. If you want to make it the int, sometimes you can use that, and that means 10%, 12%, 10, 12, 20 like that. But if you want to the accurate like then we'll discuss about it also. Okay, so in my future sessions I will describe you these things with the retrofit web services. That means how we can fetch our data dynamically with the chart. Okay, in other charts we'll discuss about, but today we'll discuss about the room with the line chart. So here these things we have done, and now we want the year. So either you can make your year statically on your present program, but if you want years also as in a backend side, so what to do for that, so I will describe also in it. So this is your year, so this is your company year. That means on 90 it growth is 12%, and 91 it growth is 18%, 92 it is 10%, or likewise that. So company growth on every year, or you can do it with the every month, it depends on your scenario. So these all simple structure be ready. If you want to make it a constructor, the other constructor, that means in which you want to send only the 3 data, you can make it, that means not pass that ID also. So it depends on you which kind of structure, because of every time this primary key make it on a auto generate true. So I describe again these things to you, because of if you are new, you can just learn that how we can create a table. And for the basic things, if you want to learn, you must watch that room sessions. Okay, so now we have to go for our next class, that is, we can say the next interface, we can say this is called your DAO. So that means company DAO. Okay, so this is our company DAO. So that's a simple at DAO. Okay, so that's our room. So room is I mean, if you do the best practice, you can create a complex queries also in the room. So let's see what to do with your company DAO. Okay, so let's start it with the interface. And in interface, the first step is you have to create your insert, that is the first query to insert the record. So for this you need add data, and as we have done many times, that's, and here we have a company data. So what to do? Yes, simply you can insert that data. And the other is, if you want to retrieve that on the list side, so that means on your graph side you want that query. So what to do? You just simply say select start from your company. Okay, so this is a simple query, and here you can say that get company data. And here what to do, that the list is a kind of flow. So here we are using that flow, coroutine flow, and there I'm using a list, and that list be your company, kind of that. Okay, so by this we can get our data. So these to be the ready, and then we have to go for our database. Database is we already created before many times. One more time you will see that how we create a database here. So you can create that company database. Okay, so this is our company database, and here we need to extend that database as an abstract class. We need it first, and without abstract you can do that, but as we follow the previous rules, so we can do that like. Okay, and this is our room database, and once it's done, so that means we have to give our database name. So you can say that this is our database, and this database, what we need it, we need it a name of entity, and here we have entities, which kind of, this is the array of, it means if you want to go for the multiple, so you can use the comma separations. Okay, so that means multiple entities you can call here. So this is a class, and once this be ready, you can do it with the version, and version is 1. So this is a basic step we have to follow, the first one. And now, as we have done that, like a singleton, we have to create a companion objects, and I already described many times and give a complete lecture on that companion object. So those are new, you can just watch my session related to the companion object. And here we have to create a private var, and that is instance you need to create. Okay, so we need an instance of a company database, and here we can create it as a null, so we can return that. So the next we have to go for our function. So here I am using the function get data base. Okay, and here we need a context, and that context we need it as a company database. So that means we return something on this. Okay, so for this function we need to return that some values on. So for this we need to return it as in a return instance, and that instance you use it either synchronized, yes, and this, so simply synchronization of this. So on this we have to return values, so those values we want. And here we can say that this is a val, and that val we need it as an instance, and that instance is your room. I think we have done before like this. So room dot database builder, okay, and here this is your context, and that context be our company database, and that is class.java. So that means by this instance we can work here. And here what we needed, just a minute, we needed the name of database, okay, and so the name of database I am using the company DB, and whatever you want, you just use that name here, okay. And here you can say that is dot allow, and that is your main thread queries, and here you need to build that. So that means here you can build, okay, and here you can say that this instance is your whatever you can call that instance be here. And so by this we can create like this instances. Okay, so so let's see here, it's error for instance, okay. So now that means it is synchronized, and these be all our database ready. So this is the other approach, little bit differ to my previous database room database class, okay. So this is the way you can work. Now we have to go for the view models, and then we go for the front end, that is called the chart, okay. So now we have create our view models. I explain it again because of you can just do it like this for the practice one more time for the coroutines, okay. So here you can create a Kotlin class file, and I am making the company view model. So here we have to extend it as a view model, and we need to pass some parameters here. So what to do, that is on primary constructor. So here I am passing the private, this is the val, this is a company DAO. Yeah, so what this company DAO. So that is a simple parameter we need it for this. And here we need to create the two function. Number one, the function is that is for the insert, and the other is for get data. So here I want to insert some values, like we first check it, what we pass it here. We pass it here company growth and company year. So here I am giving the same name here. We need two integer values, so this is your company growth and that is the int type, and company year, or you can say that simply year. So here this is also be the int type. So simply this is our insert, but how we can do that? This is company DAO dot add data, and this is our company, and under that company what we need it, we need to pass 0 because of its auto increment here, the company name. So we can say that this is ABC company, and if you want to make for the multiple companies you can do that. And here we have to pass our company growth, and here we have to pass our company year. So that means these parameters we need it for the insert. And the other function is we need to get data, so that means get company. And for the get company, what we need it, the same, we needed a flow mapping and the list mapping and the company mapping. Okay, so on this way what we needed, so that means this we have to return something. So you can say that this is a company. Just a minute. This is get company, flow, we list company, and we have to close that structure. Okay, so this is a company DAO. Okay, so this company DAO, that is called get company data. Okay, so that means it can map that flow list company to this get company data. Both are similar. So these two functions be ready, our model be ready. Now we have to go for the view model factory. So mediator be ready, and once mediator be ready, so we can call it as in the list, as in the our chart. Okay, so line chart in that. So I am giving the name to this company view model factory. This is our company view model factory. Okay, so this is a simple we have to work on. So once the view model factory be ready, we can go for the chart. Okay, so as we created the company view model, so now we have to create a company view model factory. Okay, so for this what to do, that means as we are passing in a company view model, that is our company DO, the same you have to work with the company view model passing values. So here we need to pass the same way, same approach we need it. We need here the primary constructor, and under that you can pass whatever be your DAO. Okay, so by which we can get access. So because of it is a interface, so we can implement all the values using this DAO. Okay, and here you can create this view model. You can say that view model provider dot factory, so by which we can get access the things here. So whenever it create, you can just say that all enter, and it create a methods for you. Okay, so here whatever be your method, you return that whatever be the values of that. So you first return that our company view model, and here we need to pass the value of company DAO. Okay, so this is our company DAO, and you can say that as T. So that means we return that values, and also first we have to check that if model is if model is assignable or not. So we need to cross check that if model class dot is assignable from, so that means it is a company view model. That means if it is assignable to this model, then we can implement, otherwise we don't. So that's a simple structure, and as if it is done, so you can say add suppress we need it is not like that DO. Okay, so you can give it means that is cast is not okay, or whatever be insufficient cast, so cast or whatever we want to put it here. So these are simple, and here you can throw, and that throw is your illegal argument exception, and you can say that that is the unknown model if there is some issue. So that is, so it is not be needed. If you want that, you can suppress it, otherwise no need. So what is say that, that is say that company view model constructor is not matching on that. Okay, so what's the mistake going on? Yeah, sorry. This is we have to pass it in outside, so that's the way. Okay, so this is the simple way you can use that structure of this. If you want to suppress it, otherwise not. This is simple return and throw the illegal argument. This is 4-line code we have to use for our view model factory. So once view model factory be ready, we need an application, so we can create one more, and you can say that this is company application for this project, so that we give the name to that. Okay, so for the application you can create this application, and you have to pass constructor of application, and which database you need to call. You can just say that we have to work with the database. This is the company database, we need it. Yes, and this database we need it by lazy, and that lazy we need a company database, and that company database dot get database, and that get database is this. So that's a very simple line for the applications. Whenever you create your company applications, you can just give the name on the Android manifest, this application name. So this the middle, and the backend be ready. So our database be ready, our view model be ready. Now we have to go for the chart. So we'll see how we can get this data or show this data in your main activity, and then show it to you. So that means we need a two interface for this. Number one, to insert the data, and number two, to get that chart out. Okay, so first I show to you how you can insert that, then we'll link this. Okay, so for we need to add this data, so multiple times if you want that addition of data, so you can create a simple view. So I have created a simple view here, in which I am using simple growth and year, and this is addition. Okay, otherwise you can do it with the backends also, and this is a simple the activity in which you have to call that your view model provider. So here I give the name to that application name, that is we have created dot company application, and this is our company, and this is our company DAO, and this DAO, one more thing that you need to call it in company database here. So this is the abstract function company DAO, that is an important line that we forget before. So this is you have to put here. Okay, and once this ready, how you call it using the view model providers. So this is the main activity, so you have to create a one more lazy function, that is the private val. So here we need it the private val, and that val I am creating as a main view model, and that view model I am creating for the company view model. So whatever be your company view model, you can get it. Okay, so this is your by lazy, and it gives you that, and I already described these things to you before, why we use this lazy, and I think these kind of basic examples, whenever it comes in new languages, I already provide you in the lectures. Okay, so this is the view model providers, you need it, not a provider, use of providers. Because of providers, whenever we use it, that means we can call it air fragments, we can call it the activities likewise. So I am calling this activity. Okay, and also what we needed a company, view model factory, so by which we can call that. And here in this we have a instance for this company, so that instance is this question mark, and that is the dot, and you can say that application. You can call that model directly, but we can go for the application. And as in a company, that I already described you many times. Okay, so company application. Okay, so once it's done, that means that application go to the database, and that database call that company DO. That is the most important line. Okay, so once this DOB you can get it, you can just say that which class you want that. So I want a company view model be here, so you can go for your company view model colon class.java. So that means everything is ready here. So out the run, what we say, if any exception it comes, so you can make it a question mark and colon if you want to throw any error. So Kotlin gives you many ways to do this, throws exceptions. Okay, so here you can pass it whatever you want to that. So I say the invalid. So once this to be ready, so it means we have to call this function be here, we have to call that button be here. So I am calling that button, this is called your addition button, submit button. Okay, so we can say that simple button, and I can find view by id r dot id dot sorry, this is the button, so you have to pass that button, and here you can say that r dot id dot, you can get access directly also. Okay, so this is submit button, and once it's ready, so you can say that button dot set on click listener. So here we can call that values. So the values we are needed, say that where we can say growth val, first we need it, and that is our find view by id. And here what we have app compact edit text, so you just copy it and use it here, and alt enter, and you can say that this is your r dot id dot growth text. I think it is, let's see, yeah, it is a growth text, and this is year text. So these to be we need it, dot text we need. Okay, and the other is where, this is your year val, so I am passing it with the same, you just copy paste it here and say that this is a year text. Okay, so these to be ready, and then we have to call that main view model. So you can call that main view model dot v2, we have to pass that insert. So here we need it growth val dot to string conversion and dot to int conversion. Okay, so we need that value as an integer. So the same you have to copy paste, and we have to pass it here. Sorry. And here you can put it as an year val. So these to be ready, so that means whenever you call this function, our value be inserted. So if you want to change the intent on that time, you can just change it. And one more time, one more, that is we need to create our one more activity. So we will create one more activity for the chart, so we want that chart be here. Okay, so you put this main activity under the chart, so that means your or scenario be related to that. And one more activity we have to create it for the line chart. Okay, so here under the chart we have created one more chart activity, and here this is the simple layout, so we need to change that layout. So this is your linear layout we have to work, and here under that we can use our com dot line chart. So first we needed the line chart, and both the match patterns we can do, and here we can make it as an ID line chart. So that's one very easy, as we have done our in a chart sessions. Okay, if you are new, you can just check that. And the important thing is that this is the new version we are working. Okay, so little bit changes in the entry models be here, so we'll describe you. So here there is a simple chart activity, and here we can use it. Just copy that. If you want, you can directly find view by ID or without that is okay. So I'm using here a line chart, and that is your find view by ID, and that you can pass it, and this is your r.id dot line chart you can use simply. So this is a very simple way to use that. Now one more thing, as we have done our main activity, you just copy paste that model, because we can get these things be as in a coroutines. Okay, so just copy paste here, the simply you can get access that view main view model be here. Okay, so these to be things, this to be ready, and now we have to go for our dynamic array list on that. So but before that we have to check that our coroutine scope is there or not. So we'll check it how we can use that coroutine scope it here. Okay, so now first we check that our simply coroutine life cycle, what we get it from that. Okay, so we use this as we have done our previous sessions, in which we can use that. This is launch. Okay, so once that launch it is, you can see that this is a coroutine scope we showing. Now what to do, you can use your main view model, then that get call company dot, and here you can see that two collect functions with there, so we need it. With that, one more check, there is a lot of functions for the collections, so we need which one. Yeah, do not need that, you can use that the cross line suspended. Okay, so this is under that, you can check that this is the list of the company. So once it's done, that means you can get your data be here. So you can get your data be like a log.d, and you can check that, trace that data here, and that data be here, get company, and then get company, you can see that it dot get, first we check it on the 0 position, and company growth or a company year, whatever you can then fetch it, that yeah, your this list of company value be here, whatever you can check, you want to check if okay. Otherwise we have to go for our data in which we can get our records. Okay, so that means we have to show that line chart. So first we go for the one line, then we have a multiple lines you can use on that. Okay, so what to do, you can use that late init where, and here I am using the array list, and that array list I am using as an yeah, this is the GitHub mic fill charting data. Okay, so this is, so now it bit changed little bit, this entry is changed now. So in my previous sessions we just passed the simple indexing and with the values. Now both the values become indexing and other values becomes in the floating ways and other deep changes, but here you can just use that. Okay, and here this is your array list, you can use it under that collect, and you can use that array list be like and this array list you can make it as an entry, and that entry be here, we can fetch our record. Okay, so that means you can, it means it automatically define that, yeah, this is the array list, so don't use it or whatever, but I explain you the things perfectly. And here you can use one more, and you can, or on upper form, but okay, we'll check it later. So first we're talking about the array list be here. Okay, so for this array list, what to do, you just go for indexing. So we are using items init indices, like so. Okay, so let's see what is the exactly we have to work. I think it is, yeah, that is indices be here. Okay, so whenever you work with your this list, that is called IT. So that means you can check the indices of that item. So that means it can explore as an these items become your indices value. That means index values. Okay, so like a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, like. So what to do here, as we are using our array list, so on that array list dot add, so under that we have to use that our entry, and under entry now you can see that the parameters be different. Okay, now at this time entry become with the floating values. So what to do for the floating values, you can use that items dot, and here this is the simply indices, so in the form of float. Okay, so you have to convert whatever be your indices in a form of float. Now you have to show that inner values of that means actual values of that items. So you can use it like you can say items dot company growth and dot to float. So by this you can get the actual data, that means whatever be the 0 positioning values, you can get it from this list. So that's the way you can work with your, okay, and both the values for the entry become the floats. That is the most important as an entry now in 3.0.3. okay, rest I will describe you in my sessions, coming sessions. So this is a very simple approach to work with this. Now we have to set our line data. So what to do, you can use that val, and you can say that line data, and that line data set you can create, and that line data set is your line data set. I think we have done before. Not getting this line data set. Yeah, this is the line data set. Okay, so under that line data set, what to do, you can just pass whatever be your array list. Okay, so here you can you can pass your array list, and you can say this is our first array list. That means the first line you want to show on that. So likewise you can create your multiple line data sets for that. Okay, and now you can pass that data, and what is the data, as we have done, we need a line data also. So alt enter, yeah, this is our line data. So sometimes it's not showing me like this. Okay, so here you can pass that line data set inside this. Okay, so briefly that I described in my previous sessions, because of we have to create first the y set, and that set we have to pass it here. So if you need the multiple sets, you can get it from the list, and now you can pass that val data line data set to here. Okay, so now what to do, you can pass that on the line chart dot data is equals to data. So that is your line chart dot data is equals to data. So what about the x-axis? So for this we need it, we can pass that also. So for this you can use some tricks there. If you want to make it your values on the front end side, you can take it as an means on the activity. You can create the array list with the string and can use it. But if you want to make that array list be like that means from the backend also, so you can use it. It depends on you, whatever be your requirement. Okay, so if you want to get it from the backend, so what to do, you also create that here you can say that this is a val, or above you can use it array list x, and there you can use it array list be the kind of a string, and this is a simple list. Okay, so here what to do, if you want to make it that or fetch that data also for the array list x, so you can use it as in a simply array list, you just use it here and stepwise. Okay, so array list yeah, array list x dot add, and here you can directly set your data related to whatever be here. Okay, so here you can use that IT, and here we have a item and dot, here we have a company year as we have passed that year. Okay, and here because of it is a string kind, so you can use that string here. So that's very simple approach, you can use it. But how you can represent it on the chart? So you represent it as an you can say that val and x-axis, and that x-axis you need it as x-axis, alt enter, and that x-axis is your line chart dot x-axis. Yeah, this is okay. So this has done, so that means you can say that x-axis dot value formatter. Okay, so as we have done last time, what is the value formatter, you can use that. So here we have a I-axis value formatter. Okay, and here you can use that particular value and whatever be your axis on that. So I will describe you just later which kind of format you want, and also we can use the animations. So for the animations you can say that this is your line chart dot animate xy, and here we can pass the duration whatever you want, and also you can set the x-axis values be there. So this is a basic thing, and one more thing that is the most important, as I told you last time, that is a for refreshing the chart you can use that invalidate always. Okay, whenever you can use. So now we discuss about what is the x-axis value formatter and how we can use it. Okay, so now what is the value formatter? So that means whenever you that means our string values will coming as 1991, 1992. So here chart or the line chart, whenever you create this x-axis, so they can create it as a value formatter whatever be your value. So don't use this constructor, use this the brackets. Okay, and whenever you can pass that value, so it show to you which kind of values you want. So you can say that value of that axis. Okay, so it means whatever be your array list. Okay, so that array list you can make it as in the value dot, and here you can convert it as in the int part. Okay, so that means simply it is a value formatter for this work. And if you want to hide all the values of the chart be here, so x-axis dot set grid lines, where be the set draw grid lines. Okay, so here I am making the false. We do not want any grid lines on the chart. Okay, so these I already described in my previous session. Okay, so you set the grid lines false. Now you can set your x-axis position. So there are two ways to work with it. One is set position, but it should be like this, but you can make it as in a position with the x-axis. Okay, so that means you can say that bottom. So that means we want that x-axis position as in the bottom. So these are very simple way you can work with our main activity. Under that you can add your data, and then chart activity you can fetch your data with the chart. But we'll see how the chart react here. And in this line of code we can work simply dynamic data. That's a no very easy steps. But first we check it is giving the right result or not, and how we can create a multiple sets also. Okay, so let's do it with this. Okay, now first we have to insert our data, so we need to check it on the cloud mirroring here. So better we can check how it works. Okay, so let's see, this is my real device, so we'll test that on the real device here. Okay, okay, so now I'm putting some growth like 30, 20, and that year is 998. I am doing that, and we add some data here. Okay, and one more time we can go with that, and here we can say it is 60 and the 1995. We have a 2 or 3 data. Okay, like that. So now you can connect with the intent also, but I'm just showing to you because of I have less time, so just explaining what to do for that. So simply you can see that if you check on the chart, so what happened on that according to the chart. So that is, we can call the other activity at this time, and we'll see what be the result of that. So we can terminate that. So here you can see that here the chart be like. Okay, so here the first data set is 20, then 30, and then 63 data sets we put it. So these you can use it like this. Okay, so this is the maximum is on the 98 growth, and minimum is on 99 growth. So all the grid lines be out. You can see that this is the bottom. So you can fetch a multiple sets. So I think I already described you the multiple sets in my previous sessions. So you can use on that. If you have any issue, you can ask to me on that. Okay, so just practice on that, and you can just add that records and check that on your dynamic with the dynamic room data. So in my coming session I will explain the more charts, and also we can use the retrofit on that cases. Okay, so thank you for the day. Just practice on that. Okay, yeah.